haven't found any.
Hello, everybody.
I can do that. So nice.
We were founded on October 21st at Mission Coffee.
20 months ago today, or yesterday.
20 months ago. And that was when we did our first presentation. We had 15 original members sign up. And we kind of introduced this mentality of songwriters in Columbus not being able to do this alone. As individuals in Columbus, we cannot really make strides and grow our music to a place that is valuable and economical for our lives alone. And we started to see some of the implications of that in our own lives. For me, it was going through an incredible burnout and adrenal insufficiency for touring and being alone and playing 150 shows a year. And that's kind of why, you know, when I was on the couch recovering from this illness, that's when I had the idea of, what if we brought together songwriters and we started doing something different? Some of the people we met with thought we were crazy for starting CSA because
You blame them?
they never believed that people would come together like this and support each other. And I don't think we can blame them when our model looked like a spaceship. So this model basically revolved around the independent songwriter. At the time, I kind of identified part-time and full-time songwriters. And I said that part-time songwriters can do everything here within this inner circle. Part-time songwriters can manage live performance, digital distribution on iTunes, song recording, songwriting, web development, and sometimes even song licensing through digital licensing companies. Now, if you're full-time, you might actually publish your songs, you might actually gain some social media presence, you might actually be able to co-write with other songwriters, you might be able to actually get some post-production on your own with your songs through Apple products and everything else. And you might even start to plan some of your own events and get more value for your performances. And at some point, you might even be able to buy a little cardboard CD display and start selling your music in stores if you really have the time to do it. But when you bring together community, all of these new opportunities emerge. So this circle here, okay, now flip forward, became this. This is our logo. This is also what we're doing in Columbus. This reminds me what we're supposed to be doing as an organization. Next slide. Each one of these circles represents performance, promotion, partnerships, physical distribution, and publishing. Now, the way this logo works in my mind is, in Columbus, we are growing local music energy. We're creating momentum that feeds each one of these five main tenets of what we're doing as an organization. So the energy comes through our organization and eventually filters out to one of these 5 big circles. And there's little circles along the way. There's little things that have to be done. But the 5 big circles is where our focus is. What we're starting to see happen is through performance, our songwriter showcases and events, through promotion and learning, through critiques, educational seminars, partnerships with organizations, and physical distribution. We're starting to see how songwriters are on this path, this reoccurring path that's kind of localizing the music industry in Columbus. We're starting to kind of create this value network, and it's this revolving value that just keeps going and going and going as people are creating and performing and churning out music. And eventually it's going to lead to something outside of Ohio. And I think that where it's going to lead is publishing opportunities and a connected network outside of Columbus. So we're going to talk about some of the growth that's happened since October 21st, 2012. We are now the largest songwriting group in the Midwest. So we started with 15 original members, and today we have 176 members involved with Columbus Songwriters Association. In 2013, we did 11 songwriter showcases. We did one finale showcase where we had the top audience voted songwriters pitching their music to publishers from Nashville, and we had 2 songwriter seminars with Barbara Cloyd and Chris Trapper. Barbara Cloyd is the open mic host at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. We've had 24 songwriter circles led by Eric Altine and Dick Plunk, which thank you guys so much for your contributions in that area. It's been awesome to educate songwriters in Columbus, and we hope that more songwriters will show up for the circles and begin co-writing and learning more about their craft. A couple of things I'm really excited about. Columbus Oktoberfest, we have a songwriter showcase that we're going to be putting on at the Oktoberfest this year, which is really exciting. I think some songwriters in this room have already signed up for that showcase. The other thing that we did was the For You and Me event at Easton, and I'm sure you guys saw some of the photos on our website. We had 20 songwriters performing around Easton. It was really fun, actually, to see this songwriter flash mob. Our website has had 27,000 organic web views. On social media, we have 750 real people that are following our page. We post videos from our showcases, thanks to Trevor Arwood. We have event photography that we're always posting, and we try to tag everybody as much as possible. The bigger our organization grows as a promotional arm, the better you guys can use it as a resource when you have something big to share. So if you have this success story, if you have this thing happen to you, emailing us about it and letting us post about it will make sure that you're reaching lots of people.
If you see something that we post that you're interested in, and you think, oh, that's pretty cool, and you see someone else maybe did something cool that we share, please don't hesitate to share things, like things with friends, you know. It kind of makes our lives a lot easier promotional-wise, and if we can get through all of your networks also, it'll help everyone out in the long term. So, appreciate that.
We have 3 big announcements. First is music publishing in the Wild West. This is one of our first publishing movements in our organization. So we went to Los Angeles, we interviewed Stephen Fenfer, we interviewed David Hirschland, who's, next slide, he's the vice president of Sony BMG Chrysalis. Music today is becoming like the Wild West. And we were out in the West, and we saw it being completely differential. And so we're creating a documentary that kind of explores how music publishing is changing. And it'll also educate songwriters on the basics. Have you guys heard of something called How to Build a Music City yet? Topics in the agenda so far: the indicators of an emerging music city, the value of independent music, the localization of the music industry, and then what are the infrastructure elements that a creative city needs. The people that we have speaking, Les Wexner, Mayor Coleman, Dr. Bringer, he is the director of the Music Media and Enterprise program at OSU, which is basically music business. When you think about players that shape a music city's culture, you think about Belmont and Nashville, and you think about Berkeley and Boston, and you think about all these different universities that are actually driving their city's music culture, and OSU could definitely be one of them in Columbus. So Dr. Bringer is actually going to be moderating the panel. He's a music researcher, and I've been working with him on the agenda for the panel. Tim Lincoln, he is the Chief Creative Officer of Music Dealers in Chicago. Music Dealers is a website where you can upload your music, your songs, and they'll help you place your music into corporate brands. Chris Ting is a famous composer in Los Angeles, so he understands the trials and tribulations of independent artists trying to make it in music, and he's going to be there to kind of talk to the independent artist. Erin Collins is the vice president of CSAC. She'll be in Columbus for multiple reasons, but one of them is this event. Sammy Ash is, you guys know Sammy Ash. He's the 3rd generation owner of Sam Ash Music Stores, and he'll be in Columbus to kind of talk about the value that music stores have on music culture. So this is at the Columbus Convention Center. Mark your calendar, August 30th at 11 a.m. The discussion, how creative cities could localize the music industry. You know, which not only Columbus, but other cities around the United States. What's the value of their creative culture right now? And could they be making steps like Columbus Songwriters Association has been to start creating these micro communities of musicians that help a city to gain value so that everybody gains value?
Hey Joey.
Yes?
How do we get tickets for How to Build a Music City?
One way you can get a ticket for this event is by supporting a local music shelf. So if you can donate $50 or more, we'll give you an honorary seat. It'll be one of the best seats in the house. And you'll be able to attend that event, but also support what Local Music Shelf is doing in Columbus. We want to put 50 shelves in stores around Columbus to develop our relationships with shop owners. We need $5,000 to do it. That's pennies compared to the value that this thing could create. And again, I've had several conversations with entrepreneurs that are pooling in different parts of Columbus, and they want to do this. If you do contribute, you can distribute your album at 10, 20, or 40 stores. And so by supporting this project, you can also support yourself. Again, I can't do this all on my own. I thought we'd be a lot further along than we are already. And this isn't going to be a city power move. This is going to be people in Columbus are doing this because we need this, and we believe in this. And there's 1,000 bands and songwriters in Columbus, and together we can each chip in a little bit to make this happen.